What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's going on?
What up?
So I'm Doe. I'm the musician, comic fan, movie nerd, Pornhub advocate. Actually, I'm on the new site right now. I'm me. Rob, I'm gonna kick it to you.
I'm the video guy. I'm Real Rob from the Real Rob Show. Now part of the RobNDoe Show. I partnered up with Jan, another creative guy, rapper / producer. Thought we can come together and make some good content. Thought of this podcast, having people coming over here to talk about certain subjects that's going on in the world that's important, where we can give our opinion.
Yep.
And give you guys a totally different angle, and just have a good message out there for you guys. And today we got another guest on the show on 1.5. We're saying this is 1.5 because we had a test run last week.
Yeah.
And Dave, thanks for joining us today, dude.
Rob, Jan, thank you guys for having me on. I'm a photographer. That's my passion. That's what I really love to do. I've done families, boudoir. Nature is what I really love. But I'm basically the same way. I love comics. I love Marvel, love DC. Joker's my favorite villain of all time. And I agree, man. I think it's important that everyday people like us speak about our opinions, what we believe, what we think, what we feel. So many people out there nowadays just go ahead and they just spew whatever it is that they want, and they get hurt. So hey, why not us?
Right.
Yep. I like that.
I guess with that, we'll go ahead and roll into it. I think so. Today we're gonna start off, and but before we get into that, just to kind of give the listener kind of a perspective of what we want to do. We want to do something that's going to give our voice to something in the world that's impactful in the world. We want to give voice to a divisive topic out there, right? If I'm wrong, feel free to jump in and correct me. But we want to just basically give our opinion on some things that we see happening. So we want to really have a deep discussion about those things. But then on top of that, we want to also switch and touch on some more light things. We don't want to be deep and dour the whole time. We want to we'll have some levity and some lightheartedness in here as well.
Okay, good. I don't like to be serious all the time. I mean, no. I like good conversation,
Yeah, definitely, and that's what we're gonna go for. We want the conversation. We want to open the dialogue, and we'll talk about this stuff. So, I'm gonna open it up, and then I'm gonna pass the baton to Rob just to kind of tell what we're gonna start with. The idea of right now, there's a lot of social commentary going on about athletes and whether they should have a voice in politics or should have a say in the things that affect them. And so today's episode, we're going to touch on that and give our opinion on it. So, Rob,
let's get this work.
Let's get it going. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I think star athletes dabbing into politics lets me know that we still got a fighting chance to make this nation good. I mean, we can speak about making the world great and all of that, but we're the most powerful country in the world. We got to get this shit right here first before we start try to clean other people's mess out there, because it ain't so great. But having these star athletes with these huge platforms coming out and getting into politics, talking about some of the things that don't relate to them in their tax bracket, you know what I'm saying? Because they're looking out for the little guys out there.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. And if these guys start not giving a shit, that's where we should worry. But seeing these guys coming out, talking, standing up to the government, standing up to the president on certain topics is just amazing, man. I mean,
well, let me ask you this, and I'll ask both of these, and David, I'll give you the first take on this.
All right.
The most visual, the most prominent recently, has been the national anthem protest. We can all agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole Kaepernick thing got. I mean, not to say it got the ball rolling. There were other athletes that were doing it, but on this level for what he did. Talk about that. Speak about that.
Okay. All right. So when this all first started out, it was plain and clear exactly what his motives were, which was Black Lives Matter, police brutality, not militarization, not military folks, not veterans, not people that are currently enlisted in the Army, Navy, Marines, whatnot. I think what I like is, okay, I'll start off with that. What I like about Kaepernick is the fact that he is using his First Amendment to go ahead and say whatever it is that he wants.
Right.
And I don't mind that it's in a sports venue. I don't care. I don't watch sports. But the fact that he is actually taking a stand for a situation that he probably has gone through himself, I don't know. But it's the fact that there are so many people out there, so many police officers that have taken advantage over the situation of their power.
To cut you off, what you get on the other side of that argument is
What?
you okay, I don't care, but the other side of that argument is, and you hear it a lot, is, well, why didn't he find a better platform? Why did he have to use the national anthem? So you gotta speak to that. What's your opinion?
All right.
I have mine, and I'll get it in a moment. I just wanted to get yours.
Okay. Well, my opinion on that is that he's a football player. People watch him during the football season, obviously, every Sunday. They made it to the Super Bowl his first year. Why not? Okay, I think it's the best place to actually do that on national TV, where everybody can see, where everybody can understand exactly where he's coming from, and where he can say the reason why he's doing it. I applaud him for doing that.
I agree. Rob?
I'm a Seahawks fan. I never liked Kaepernick, but to see what he did, we got to dig into this just a little bit deeper,
Right.
and to see what's people are missing is that, all right, we all know Kaepernick was not on his knee to offend anybody in the military or of that nature.
Agreed.
But I guess people wanted to find something to go out and go against the guy for not being a talented football player,
Right.
which the stats says that's wrong.
Right.
He's just as capable as any quarterback out there, and he's like a first string quarterback carrying a clipboard out there. But
Right.
I'm saying what a lot of people are not seeing is that when you have a big platform like Colin Kaepernick's before they wiped his ass off the fucking earth,
Right.
when you have a big platform like that, your voice is so much more powerful, and nobody likes that.
Right.
No, and with me personally, I'm going to say this. What bothers me the most is that no matter how many times he's actually said that it's not about the military, it's not about the United States, it's nothing against people that are fighting wars. Doesn't matter what he says, people are still taking that and using it against him and saying that, he doesn't care about the military, he doesn't care about America. It's like no. He's not said he never said that, and it's true. He never did say that. He just simply said that what he feels is that there's racism in the country. Which, hey, look, me personally, I think there's racism in the country. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but
As a
it's
black
hard
male,
to face.
I can tell you, racism
It's out there.
100% still
It
exists.
is still there, and see what so. The thing is Colin Kaepernick made a stand. He made the boldest stand of
Right.
any athlete in our generation.
Correct.
In this generation, I mean. But see, when you have a message that's being drowned by all those people who are just flipping everything you're saying and saying, you're saying this is about social injustice. They're saying, no, get the fuck up. Have respect for your country. All right. So the next fucking guy The next guy down the line, Michael Bennett, you gotta be smart. You gotta strategize. If the knee fucking brought Kaepernick to his knees. He lost everything. The message was heard. He was a symbol. He's the symbol now. The next athlete who's gonna make a stand gotta be smarter. You can't go at this at the same way. Okay, I'm gonna take a knee too. What Kaepernick had was his platform. He don't have that platform right now.
No,
So every star athlete out there should be smarter. You cannot do this alone. These guys need to gang up, get together, and come out with a different message that won't be drowned, that nobody can find a way to flip on him. Go ahead.
So going to the locker room, because it became really, as I'm a Niner fan on top of this, so, full disclaimer. You hear a lot of
Sorry about that.
But you hear a lot of outside noise about the dysfunction in the locker room, which was not the case in San Francisco.
Nope. Nope.
But there was a lot of that rhetoric going around. But the other thing was that the divisiveness between athletes throughout the league. Until it took Trump calling out Kaepernick and calling out the league in general before more players even got involved. There were the handful, select few on each team that were still kneeling, and the argument, the validity of what he was doing hadn't been lost. It got drowned out once Trump got involved. And
yeah,
the whole narrative got hijacked, because then it wasn't about social injustices. Even now, no one talks about the social injustice. The reason that he was kneeling, it had nothing to do with the flag. It had nothing to do with our military. He stated, like you said earlier, he stated himself out of his mouth. It was never about that. It was about the social injustice, and someone who, one argument that, he's rich, he doesn't know, he's not being oppressed, but he can be the voice of the oppressed.
Exactly, but nobody saw what happened. What I was talking about, that the strategy should become better. Kaepernick made a stand to start this message out. Yeah. Now it cannot continue the same way. Trump is on some level fucking 20 Jedi mind shit. You know what I'm saying? He came back at them with some little shit. He had Mike Pence go to the Colts game so that he can see people fucking kneel and then leave the game half hour early before the game and have that shit.
Ironically, they're playing the Niners, and Eric Reed and those guys were kneeling. Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird that shit happened, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. These guys can't come out. The message did get fucked up on there, but what we got to see there, and I don't know if you guys saw it, we got to see all the busters in the league. You know what I'm saying? All these busters that didn't want to get on that knee, they started kneeing.
The Shady McCoys, but to hijack what you.
That was some bullshit.
But what got me, and what we need more of, is the Chris Longs. These guys.
Chris Long, yeah.
Okay,
Chris
I know who Chris Long is. What about him?
He's a lineman.
He was one of the first white guys that, even when Cap first started, they were asking him, how did you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? And he was like, I know this guy. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? I want to hear his part of the conversation. I'm not going to judge him, because everyone else is angry. He said something, and I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said, but it was along those lines. And then even last year with the Patriots, still coming out and standing with these guys. When they were kneeling, he had their back, and I respect that 100%, because honestly, that's the voice we need. As minorities, we need the white majority to say, hey, this is wrong. What is happening to these people is not right. We shouldn't have to always, why are these guys being treated like this for the police? And then the counter argument, well, look what they do in Chicago. Look what they do to themselves. Why can't, and this is something I could never understand, is why can't they both be wrong? Why does it have to be, if the conversation is, I can't breathe, don't shoot me, then does the argument have to be, but you kill your own people?
That's okay. I agree very much with that. And another thing that also bothers me as well is that they turn a blind eye in sports in general.
Ray Rice. If that video never comes out with Ray Rice, He's still playing in the league today.
That's my point, is that when it comes to people's personal lives and drugs and alcohol and abuse in sports, they don't care. Eventually it goes away. Mike Vick with the fucking dogs, right? Nobody even talks about that anymore, but he plays football again. But God forbid Colin Kaepernick decides to take a knee.
Mike Vick. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. Nobody was buying any of his product. Nobody was buying any of his jerseys. I mean, nobody cared about it. Everybody hated him.
And then he came
Yeah.
back
But now
and he
what?
was balling again, and they loved him again.
Right, exactly. And that's my point. I think it's so wrong that not only do they try and flip things around, like, oh, look, well, if you go to Chicago, look how many brothers and sisters are killing each other's over there.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Stop trying to flip. Stop flipping it.
Yeah.
Focus on the main subject.
They
Focus
can both
on the
be
main
right.
attention.
What a fucking disgusting rebuttal for you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
That's just-
that's the All Lives Matter movement as a whole. Seeing the Black Lives Matters movement, and understanding what it was about. It was never about Black Lives Matter only, and it was never a terrorist organization. It was never about hurting anyone. It was trying to get a voice heard and say, "Hey, our lives matter too." And that movement was hijacked by the All Lives Matter movement. I see that very similar with the kneeling in sports. You think back to you go back to Muhammad Ali. He was jailed, stripped of his title for
Yeah, it was.
almost the same exact things, saying my people are being oppressed. He said specifically, I'm not going to fight in a war. Those people have never done anything to me. The people that are oppressing me are on this land right here. And it's still happening. You know, as what LeBron is doing. That's another one I have a respect for. And I have a respect.
Who was that? Who did
LeBron
you say?
James, LeBron.
Oh, LeBron. Okay.
And the chick telling him to shut up and dribble. You know, for me, it's like, it's a right as a citizen. I respect these athletes speaking. We need these guys in these positions to speak for us. You know what I mean? And give their opinion on the politics and how biased they are. And that's the fear that you can hear it. You just be quiet. You just dribble. You're here to entertain us. So basically, you're saying we're some monkeys in the zoo. We're the circus. We're the clowns. And our job is to entertain you.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So here's what bothers me about the whole situation is, okay, we have a person that makes X amount of money that's very popular, that's on TV. Everybody knows he's one of the great basketball players of all time. Why is it that when a person in his position chooses to try and do what's right for the citizens of America, which he is as well, is wrong?
Yeah.
But here's the issue. When we ask people in government or in politics in general to stand up for people in our position, they don't.
Because
They
they're being
don't.
paid. Because they're being paid.
So-
These big corporations are in their
Thank you.
pocket. They're not working for the people any longer.
They haven't been for so long, dude.
Right.
For half my lifetime.
I completely agree, and that's what's wrong with modern society, and so many people out there. Now, look, I'm not trying to say that majority of conservatives are like this, but in my opinion, okay, I talk to people that are into politics, and we basically talk like every day. I try not to swing left, but I definitely don't swing right.
I'm with you on that, Dave. I don't label myself anything. I just try to do what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm right.
Or I mean, not left, but
Yeah.
Well,
I'm right there with you guys. I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative.
I don't label myself anything, dude. I don't even know that much about that, but I just look at a situation and I try to pick what's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and continue, Dave.
So the issue that I have is that I had a conversation recently with an acquaintance of mine. I consider him a friend, and he swings more conservative than anything. And I asked him, well, how do you feel about that? And he said, honestly, I think it's bullshit. I think he's just a monkey, and he should just go out there and perform for me. And I'm like, what? I said, okay.
Damn.
I said, okay. Besides the fact that he's African American, black, whatever. What the hell makes you think that he should just perform for us just because he's a basketball player? What makes you think that a person that's not in politics doesn't deserve their chance to speak? I mean, he is a citizen of America. He has that right. And just for you to say, well, he's in sports, that he should just perform for us. No, that's bullshit.
My rebuttal to that, and anyone who would say that is You shut up and do your job then. We don't want to hear your opinions on the politics. You shut the fuck up.
I do think she's a fucking troll, and because she talks about athletes should just shut up and speak. They had the Dixie Chicks when they were on some political shit. That she was like, "Shut up and sing." I don't think she's racist, but she's definitely a troll. She's brought celebrities, Chris Rock and a bunch of other movie celebrities, onto her show to talk about politics. So I guess she just picks the people with big names to bust their nuts so that she can get her name out there, because nobody know who the fuck Laura is.
While she probably is a troll, agreed, she probably is a troll, but when you hear some, she's not interested in the political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to dribble or to bounce a ball. That's what she says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exact. Yeah, that's exact.
But she is interested in the opinion of someone who gets $100 million in their pockets from lobbyists to fight their particular cause.
Dope. That is dope right there. That is dope right there.
I mean, let's talk about that. How hypocritical is that?
But with LeBron James, this is where I'm going to give him his credentials to be speaking on politics. Who am I? I'm just real Rob, but I'm going to give him his credentials to speak on politics, because here's a guy that is the face of fucking Cleveland, Ohio. He's out there in the trenches in his community, trying to make his community better, and this is all out there. Everybody knows this stuff, and when he goes out there and he sees this, he's in the mud, witnessing this for himself, and he comes out and he speaks out against the president on his views on certain things, and it just this guy does have a fucking. He does have an opinion.
Agreed.
To be heard. Fuck,
and
I can't fucking speak now.
And to take it a step further, he doesn't even have to be the face of Cleveland, of the Cavaliers, of anything. Does he pay his taxes? Does he vote?
Oh, okay, yes.
Is he an American citizen?
Fair.
So,
Good point.
He has a right to speak. And there should be no one saying, shut up, I don't want to hear your opinion. No, we don't want to hear your opinion. Because obviously you're biased and you don't want to get to the truths of issues. Whereas at least I can say this $100 million athlete is at least trying to be a voice for my people. Our people. And I think that's where the disconnect lies with a lot of these politicians and their media offspring that just spew on both sides. It's fucking parroting, the information that's fed to them every day. And
I completely agree with that. Yeah. I mean, what really bothers me when it comes to the media or when it comes to the news in general is that it's all dictated on what it is that they want to be heard, what it is that they want people to listen to.
True, Dave.
Not exactly what it is that the truth is out there. Regardless of how many times he said it, no matter how many times he reiterates exactly the reason why he's doing what he's doing, people still find a way to just flip that around. And I do blame the media. And it could be right or it could be left. It could be Fox, could be CNN. I don't know. Don't care.
Yes. I'm totally with that. It's because they don't want us to come up and be powerful when we start standing together. They don't want to go out and preach the same message as Colin Kaepernick. Let's be truthful about that. They don't want a united America out there. What the hell?
If that's something I was saying earlier is and kind of piggybacking off of this, the whole we don't want to hear the athletes' perspective,
right?
But these high school children were able to affect law because they stood up. They were tired of these mass
like Dick Sports.
So it was somebody saying, I've had enough, and standing up and saying something, which is what LeBron is doing, which is what Cap is doing.
Kaepernick, it was the most sincere athlete out there who went out there and sacrificed the most. I remember seeing Cam Newton. They asked him about the Kaepernick situation, and he was like, his answer was just fucking out of this world. He was like 1/8 of an inch. He was talking about he was 1/8 of an inch is what everything is. We're all similar. What's under there? You know, he's talking about blood. You know, our blood is all the same. We're like, what the fuck?
I'm blood.
He was dodging bullets. He was fucking Neo from the Matrix on there, bro.
Blood
he was dodging bullets all day.
But that does not still. People are treated differently. Your blood may be the same, but your skin isn't. And a lot of people are passing judgment based on.
But he was. What I'm saying is, Cam was passing. He was dodging that question.
I kind of I look at it two ways too. You have last year protest, quote unquote protest last year, and then you have what happened the year before when Kaepernick was involved. I think when the Kaepernick protest was more legitimate and was sticking to the base and had a true message behind it. Last year, once Trump got elected and said what he said and start calling out the NFL, and these guys, all these other players started joining in, but it wasn't for Kaepernick's message. So you got to kind of differentiate between the two in that.
Yeah, I do think that wasn't it totally switched. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That whole situation became more of anger towards Trump than what the message initially stood for.
Right. And before I lose my train of thought, I wanted to bring it back a little bit because we're talking about athletes that were on it. What was your opinion of the Ray Lewis responses? We're talking about Cam Newton. Ray Lewis's, one knee is.
That was a buster move too. I felt that was a buster ass move too. What do you think, Dave?
Whoa. Okay. Well, because didn't Ray take a knee, but he was doing it.
He did.
Right. But
no, that's what he said. That was
he took two knees, and again, this is another way to hijack it because he goes, one knee is for the people or some shit like that. Two knees is for God. And he gets
you were like, no, bro. Two knees is Canadian money. Two knees. We like, see, Ray to me. I love football, man. I breathe football, not just Seahawk football, but with Ray's always been an inspirational talker, man. And when you see a guy who I have this image of Ray as being this guy who goes out there on the field, even before he left the league, that he made men in that locker room. In that locker room, there was boys in there that he made men before he left the league. But then when he goes out and he goes into this hypocritical situation, you're just like, come on, Ray.
Well, here's something I said a few years ago. I posted about it when all those riots and everything were going on in Baltimore when the young man got killed in the when he broke his neck in the back of the paddy wagon. And Ray Lewis came out and was calling for peace and saying there had to be a better understanding. And he was like being the voice at that time. And I commended him for it. I was like, we need more athletes doing this. This is before Kaepernick had started his knee. I was like, this is what we need. We need these athletes in this position of power to come out and say this is wrong. And I commended Ray. I was like, that's what we need. Ray Lewis, way to go, Ray. Proud of you, boy. And then for him to flip-flop last year and do what he did and say what he said, I was like, fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah. You got Kaepernick. You got Kaepernick on one end, and you got Ray on the other side, who's willing to come to the. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, so from what I know of from Ray Lewis, he's a religious man, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So he was trying to, from what it sounds like, reverse the whole situation and try and take the eyes off of Cap by taking two knees on the football field with the rest of the team.
But here's the other side of that. He's not even playing anymore.
Okay. That's my point. So, but here's my point as well. Now, Rob did say that when he was playing, he made boys into men because of how powerful his speeches are. because of how how influential when he
He's in,
talks,
yes.
people listen.
Yes.
Okay,
Agreed.
so
Agreed.
so in my perspective, it seemed to me like he was trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm not saying to take the attention off of Cap, but I am trying to say that he was trying to take the attention off of the situation. But then again, I don't know the guy, so
Yeah. I think he was just, my opinion. I think he was just he jumped in the bandwagon through the whole Trump situation, but the whole every. But if we do a timeline, if we do a timeline,
when that happened,
go ahead.
When that happened, you have to remember the Ravens were thinking about signing Cap at that time. That was when Joe
Flacco.
back.
Yeah.
They didn't know if he was going to be
Flacco,
ready,
yeah.
and they needed a quarterback. And the owner comes out with that statement to the public, God, please pray for us. Because they're thinking about signing Kaepernick. Please pray for us.
wow.
And again,
Okay,
now
so
Ray being a big time member of this franchise, even though he was retired, but then again he hijacks it with the whole 2-knee thing, and then Cap's girl doesn't make the situation any easier by posting the Django Unchained photo of Ray and
Oh yeah.
ooh, wow.
she doesn't make it easier for Cap, but that was kind of what was going around. That was the narrative at that time. For me, it was like almost like they put him out there in our face, and it was like, for me, it was a slap in the face. Like, and again, I can go back and pull the post up. I commended Ray Lewis. I was so happy because we didn't have that voice in sports that was speaking about this, that was talking about this. And when Ray was like, when those riots were going on, and for him to speak, I was really proud of him. And then again, Cap took it a step further, and you got like, now that's what we need. And to kind of transition to sports, that's kind of, I love football. I'm like you, Rob. I love football. I'm a football fanatic. However, lately I find myself leaning more towards the NBA, because the NBA,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
they allow their players to be individuals and have a voice, and then you got coaches like accomplished coaches, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, also speaking out to this. And you're like, they're calling the president out on his rhetoric and bullshit. And you're just like, yes.
Likewise with Pop, your coach.
Yeah, I love Pop. I love Pop. He's a really vocal, and he speaks his mind. And you notice Trump comes at a lot of people. He has not.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, guys, I'm not really a super comic fan like you guys. I'm gonna get into it and see if I can keep up and have some dialogue with you guys about comics. But in the comics, especially all these new movies come out right now, Justice League, we got like 6-7 guys going up against one boss. You know what I'm saying? One bad guy. We got fucking LeBron James, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich. We can go. I'm talking about big names with big impact. Have we not found out yet that if you're going to go against the president of the United States, who somehow was this fucking guy everybody hated and finessed himself into office, this guy is fucking, you got to go at him with power, dude. You get what I'm saying?
You do.
I really like how you just flipped it. That was actually really good.
All right, so let's keep it flowing.
So,
all right,
what the hell is going on with DC films? And for perspective for me, anyone that knows me, I am not a Marvel fanboy. I am a comic fan. I enjoy both sides of the coin. But as far as DC Cinematic Universe goes,
I agree. I know you're going.
Highly, highly disappointed in the direction, a lot of the choices they made. And so, let's spend this portion of it talking about the DC Universe, where they are, where they're headed, what's going on. Because at this point, DC's dropped the ball. I mean, there's no other way to say it. They have dropped the ball. And so I'll open the floor. Whoever wants to take point, it's you.
Me, David.
Hey.
I want to talk.
Go ahead, roll it.
All right. So when they decided to reboot Superman, okay, in my opinion, I thought they did a good enough job for me to enjoy it, and then for them to go off of that.
Agreed.
I think Henry Cavill or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's a great actor for the position that he's in to play Clark Kent or Superman.
Perfect Superman.
I really enjoyed the movie. The whole Man of Steel movie I thought was good. I don't think it was great, but I thought it was definitely good. Completely after that, everything fell off. Why the hell would they go?
Let me ask you this.
What?
Because this is what I thought about, and I had a little time to think about it. Man of Steel was so much better than what anyone expected, I think is what it was. That kicked off this whole idea of a DC cinematic universe. That's where it started. Was with
I completely agree.
And then suddenly DC was like, hey, maybe we have something here. Let's all of a sudden shoehorn Batman into it, and you get the little satellite, the Wayne Enterprises satellite. Because I think, I know there's a lot of DC fanboys that were crying about Superman killing people. For me, Man of Steel was the best Superman movie. I
agree.
And people were gonna hate me for this. I didn't like the Richard Donner Supermans. I didn't like the Bryan Singer Superman. I fell asleep in the first scene of that movie and have not went back to watch it.
I don't even remember that shit.
Superman Returns.
Yeah,
Superman Returns. I remember when that came out.
If I can't even stay awake
I remember when
for
that
the
came
first
out.
scene, I'm good.
What was his name, fellas? What was his name?
Which one? The Superman Returns one?
Yeah.
Superman Returns.
That Bryan Singer did. He left X-Men to go do that shit when X-Men was the shit. He left X-Men 2, X2 to go do that bullshit ass Superman movie. But Man of Steel, for the first time, made me feel like they had gotten Superman right.
Damn.
They have finally got Superman right.
I completely agree. All the trials and tribulations of Clark Kent and Superman growing up, trying to figure out who he is as far as a human being.
Yeah.
But he's not a human being. He's from planet Krypton.
Right.
Exactly.
Growing up knowing that he has so much more abilities than any human could possibly have, and growing up on how to deal with that,
Exactly.
I thought was
having to
fucking
learn how
phenomenal.
to control
That was
to fit in. Beautiful.
I agree.
I was a big fan of Man of Steel. So,
it's just the way that they were able to tell the story. You know, like a story in a story. It's when they take that much time to give us the story, especially for us who, I mean, I've been following Superman since a kid. I've never really been a comics guy, but I've been following Superman for the whole time, and this Man of Steel was just, it'll let you forget all the rest of them.
So my question becomes, what the fuck happened?
Because, okay, so this is just my opinion, obviously. But with all the hype, as soon as Iron Man came out, they touched on something and it touched so many fans and everybody loved it. They did a phenomenal job. They knew they had something and they capitalized on that and they moved it forward. Now, I agree with you when you say that, oh my God, I think we have something here. The only problem was they saw something and thought, oh my God, we have something huge. Mm-hmm. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna do something great. They completely failed at it. I don't know if it was the producer, the director, or the owners, but it was the idea that they actually had to make this fantastic. But at the same time, they're dealing with the opposite, which is Marvel, and where they progressed from. Oh gosh, I can't remember when Iron Man came out.
I think they came out in 08. Iron Man came out in 08. And here is what I'm thinking. The difference between DC and Marvel.
All right.
Marvel had a vision. They had a game plan in place with Iron Man.
Great game plan.
You could see when they brought Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man and then the Incredible Hulk, They bring General Ross in, and they're starting all of a sudden they're connecting these. They have Tony Stark, and they have General Ross in the end of Incredible Hulk, and then they had a plan in place. They knew the direction they were going from the beginning.
Yeah, they did.
Man of Steel, my opinion, I don't know for a fact that this is the dialogue they had, but I believe Man of Steel was supposed to be a standalone movie.
I agree.
And then the execs saw it and were like, we have something. But there was no vision behind it. There was no plan. Like, okay, we're going to build from Superman to Justice League. That wasn't on the table initially. It was a standalone. It was like they were just coming off the success of the Dark Knight trilogy. And
Which was phenomenal.
Which was phenomenal.
I love those.
I mean, that is the one movie. Well, no, that's not the one movie. There's 4 movies that if they're on television, I'm going to watch no matter what. Scarface being the first, and Dark Knight being the second.
I mean, the Dark Knight series was fucking amazing, dude. Like, that shit compared to all the other Batman booty bullshit that we grew up on the movies. No, it doesn't even come close. The way you said, Dave, earlier, you said Joker was your best villain, and I never liked Joker, but goddamn, that Joker on The Dark Knight was the best Joker I've ever seen. R.I.P. to
Heath Ledger.
What's his name? Heath?
Yeah,
R.I.P. Great fucking acting. So fucking authentic. The most authentic Joker I've seen out there.
The Joker has always been one of my favorite villains. Behind maybe Thanos, Doctor Doom, fucking Norman Osborn, those guys. But Venom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some great villains on Marvel side. But what Heath Ledger did with the Joker, holy shit. That's all I can say. I mean, and again, this is all hindsight, retrospect. But that movie, if it's on, I watch it religiously. I will watch that movie. I love that movie. So again, the springboard forward again. What happened? Because there was a good foundation laid, even with the Dark Knight. Man of Steel, again, I think the thinking going in wasn't necessarily Justice League. I think it was they were looking at Dark Knight and saying, let's make Superman as relevant as the Dark Knight. And they gave us an awesome film. For me, I don't relate as much as I want to, but I still love them. I love them. I have friggin' a bunch of the Batman comics. I have, Superman photos everywhere. I love them. But they're not as relatable as maybe they were. And maybe that's the problem. But there's no way. I'm trying to stick to the DC thing in that.
Okay.
Marvel took an unknown property in the Guardians of the Galaxy and made them a franchise. They're a franchise now.
Yeah, they are.
So to see the Justice League movie, and what DC gave us based off of the initial response of Man of Steel is so disgusting to me. I've been fairly disappointed in DC, and I don't see anything in the horizon that gives me hope. Because now what happens is it feels like they're all over the place in that.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about DC, I will tell you this: Christopher did a phenomenal job with the trilogy. He was able to spend pretty much, I want to say, like 2 hours in each movie, to where he can connect every single dot to every single character, and at the same time be able to tell the phenomenal story. That is really difficult, and I feel that he did that because he loves the Joker or he loves Batman.
Going back to how do you guys think that because Marvel had all that momentum from Iron Man and all the Hulk and all of that, when they came out with the Avengers, do you think that they had a better game plan because they were able to see ahead, and that
completely.
DC when DC came out with the Justice League, they were just trying to hop on because that's what's, they try to force everything on us because they knew that it was working on the other side. What's your opinion?
Yeah, dude, Yonda was absolutely right. Yonda was absolutely right. He knew, Yonda knew, and I think we all knew. Well, we didn't know until after Iron Man, but Yonda's absolutely right. Marvel had a vision from day one. At the end of that movie, at the end of the movie, they have a clip of Nick Fury coming in, and it's like, holy shit! We all knew right then and there that he was going to talk about. We all knew that they were going to talk about the initiative.
They were headed into Avengers. You knew you were going to get the Avengers.
Exactly. We knew exactly what was going to happen.
They had a game plan, and even as it evolved, they knew the direction they were going. Even at the end of Avengers, when they showed Thanos, and when that Chitauri, and he says, to fight them will be like courting death, and Thanos just turns his face to the screen and smiles, and you knew, holy shit.
See, damn, dog, that's where I should get into the comics, because you see, with not knowing the comics, I won't be able to catch that stuff like that, and to be able to see that coming, dude, that's just
hell yeah.
Going back to the whole is like what's happening. So, where do we go from here? Again, I'm gonna be the asshole dude, but I'm okay with that.
We'll still love you after the show, brother.
Everybody's tying their leash right now to Wonder Woman, and while Gal Gadot is an awesome looking Wonder Woman, I find her highly attractive. I think she embodies Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, the movie itself sucked. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm gonna drop that landmine and run really fast.
I'm sure some of the audience out there is gonna love what you just said.
Yeah, right.
But I'm with you on that.
Okay, see, for me, I feel completely different. I thought it was a Christian story. I thought it was really good. Yeah. I liked it.
And I felt like I was watching a generic comic book movie.
What I really liked about Wonder Woman was the origin story of how she grew up to be such a defender, such a protector for her people. I like the idea that the gods were actually able to keep them away from normal society, and then all of a sudden this guy pops up. I just felt that it was a very good told story about how she ended up helping out. It's in, what was it? I'm pretty sure it was World War II. That she was helping them out and actually was able to just conquer so many things that the humans couldn't. And then throughout the whole movie, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good. I thought it was a very well told story.
I felt like I was watching Captain America. It was Captain America, similar time period. But Captain America's CGI was a lot better.
I just thought that this first movie that came out just didn't catch me. I mean, what I did feel was they chose the right actress.
Yep.
And they chose the right costume, and she was hot. Damn. Yeah, and that's what I got about. But that's what I got about that.
That's where it ended. I mean, and I'm not gonna say what's ended because they did preach empowerment to women. There was a lot of that behind that, and I can get behind that. I do respect that, and I do understand that.
So would you say, you're saying it's not great, but would you say it's a bad movie? Because I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think
it's an okay movie.
When you come back with a reintroduction after so many years of just not giving a fuck about this character, and they not. Am I wrong? Is there anywhere in the 20th century where they try to reintroduce us to her?
No. But here's my point. My thinking on that is, think about Iron Man was in the same boat. Captain America was in the same boat. No one was entering. Again, I go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. Most of the viewing audience didn't even know who the fuck Guardians of the Galaxy was.
Likewise, that's me too. But that was dope though.
But they wrote a story to make them compelling. Whereas Wonder Woman, and which was my biggest disappointment about Justice League, in that you had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you put in Cyborg, and then the Flash. So this is the pantheon of the DC
Aquaman.
universe. And
Aquaman,
I'm sorry, and Aquaman, yeah. So you have the pantheon of the DC universe outside of Cyborg, who they introduced. You know, he wasn't a founding member of the Justice League. So, and to think that
I was gonna say,
remember that feeling when you guys saw? I don't know about you guys, but when I finally saw Avengers in the theater, I was like, "This is it! Holy shit, this is it!"
It's about to go down.
Right.
Somebody's about to get fucked up.
And at not one point in the Justice League did I get that feeling. And the Avengers is a group of B-list Marvel superheroes.
True.
The Justice League is the A-list. And it was kind of like, Aquaman's a surfer dude, okay.
And that's really what I completely agree with you. I don't like how they just completely rushed the whole series without having great origin stories. I mean,
Agreed.
After Man of Steel, they came out with Batman versus Superman. There was no reason for that. If they would have decided to make a second Superman, and then on top of that,
Introduce us,
introduce Batman and be like, oh shit, we just saw at the end of the credits Batman, and then Batman has his own. And then from there, then go on to end up seeing Wonder Woman. They didn't do that. They completely rushed to just try and capitalize on something that they felt was completely profitable, and they ruined it.
You haven't seen it at all. It's just they rushed it. And then you get Justice League, and we've all seen Justice League, right? Everybody's seen that one?
That was a horrible movie.
horrible.
It was horrible. And for me, what made it truly, truly horrible for me wasn't the CG of stuff that they say. It wasn't even how rushed it was for me. What I really, really, really disliked is I felt like Batman versus Superman was the best depiction of Batman that we'd had to date. Of all the Batman movies, that was where I really felt like we finally had the Dark Knight. And everything that Zack Snyder had done well in Batman versus Superman with Batman, he took like 100 steps backwards with Batman and Justice League. He was the comedic relief. Batman is a comedic relief, really?
Yeah, I'm just not so sure. I'm not so sure Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman.
Yeah, and he may not be. For me personally, he's mine.
He's yours.
I like him. I go back and I think I like Michael Keaton. I was a big fan of Michael Keaton.
Michael, yeah.
I liked him, but his
but
Batman wasn't. Was his Batman mind blowing? I mean, think about that fight scene in Batman versus Superman when he goes and he rescues Martha, Superman's mom. How aggressive he was and going into the shadows and hide. Batman versus Superman captured a lot of that for me. I was like, holy shit, that's Batman.
Okay, I completely agree with you there. I mean, like when the cops showed up to try and figure out who the hell's going on, and there's all those captured ladies, and they're just like, help us, and as soon as they get up to the room, they don't see him, but he's in the fucking corner hiding in the shadows. I loved it.
Yeah, and
How about him marking his the fucking criminals? What do you guys think about that part?
I could have taken and left that. That didn't do much for me.
Yeah, it didn't do much for me either. I mean, me personally, that Batman, he would never do that anyways.
Yeah.
It was just a weird situation for me to see, for them to incorporate that in the movie. Like, what?
Well, that was kind of their MacGuffin.
Are you telling me you're marking the beast?
That was kind of their MacGuffin to get Superman mad, because being marked by the bat gets you killed in prison. So it gives them a reason. It gives them a reason for Superman to be mad at Batman. It was like a plot. It was a plot device. It wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it dumb? Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I started thinking of RFIDs and that 666 marking that comes from the Bible.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I saw those marks.
Yeah, and a lot of people were upset about that. It didn't make too much sense, but for me, it was like it was just a plot point to get Superman angry at Batman. So you have to find a reason. But why is Superman mad at Batman? Oh, because he's branding people and putting them in prison to die.
That's inhumane.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But
Wow,
I
man.
did it. But I did enjoy the fact that it was an older Batman as well. I mean, they rushed it too fast.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with Ben Affleck at all being a Batman, but they should have taken the time that they saw with Marvel, and they did see it with Marvel.
yeah.
The only issue is that they didn't want to be
They
Marvel.
didn't want to be
but-
Marvel, so to do their own thing, they wanted to be darker and grittier, and it just didn't work.
Right.
And so to kind of push it forward a little bit, so we can move the conversation forward a little bit. On the horizon, we have Aquaman this year. You have Wonder Woman 2. You have,
Right.
You have a Flash, the Flashpoint, and then you also have Nightwing coming. So
Wow. Okay.
so for me, I'm not. I don't really care too much about Aquaman. I'll probably see it just to see it, but honestly, they didn't do enough in Justice League to make me really care about this new Aquaman. I was just really disappointed in particular, the talking bubbles. Like, what the fuck was that?
Talking about.
Yeah,
Talking bubbles.
that shit disappointed the fuck out of me. So you got Aquaman. I don't know. Wonder Woman 2. I'll watch it, but I don't know. Again, it's like I wasn't a big fan of Wonder Woman, the first one. The two movies that I'm really intrigued about is Flashpoint. And I'm intrigued about Flashpoint for a couple reasons.
Okay.
The first being that will be Ben Affleck's exit from the DC universe.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that it, because he said it on multiple occasions. He doesn't want to do it, and you can kind of tell he doesn't want to be Batman. So at some point they're going to have to introduce a new Batman, and it would have to be in Flashpoint. And in the Flashpoint comic, Bruce Wayne dies as a kid. It's not Thomas Wayne that dies, it's Bruce, and Thomas actually becomes Batman. So
alternate universe.
Yes. So I'm wondering if they're going to introduce that to be Ben Affleck's exit as Batman. The other movie again is Nightwing. I like the idea of Nightwing in that we're going to get a Batman apprentice who's coming to his own right of being a hero. Nightwing was the first. He's Dick Grayson. He's the first Robin.
Mm-hmm.
So while they've shown in the other movies Robin dying, this Robin isn't dead. He's out, and he stepped away from Bruce Wayne and said, you know what? I want to be my own man. I want to do my own thing. Here's a funny thing about it to kind of tie back to our earlier subjects we were talking about. You think Robin was a hashtag Me Too?
You caught me with my pants down, brother.
Seriously, dude. I was like, yeah. Oh my god.
Hey, it was a great fucking show today.